Do you think that those lost books are the reasons why, say, the African Americans here have kind of lost touch with, say, some of their history?
No, the last books aren't it. The whole colonization process, the whole enslavement process,
Okay.
denied the African and at home and abroad,
Mm-hmm.
deny his true history. Professor George James, in his book called Stolen Legacy, said that that is the stolen legacy. That is the tradition of the African. The fact that his history was colonized as the rest of world history. What the European did is to colonize world information. For instance, you heard of the term the seven wonders of the world.
Right.
Who makes seven wonders of the world?
I don't
Who
know.
said that they? Who,
I've always been
is-
curious what they were.
and then who decided what
Okay.
is the wonder of the world? The Europeans did it.
Okay.
Europeans said these things, these seven things are the wonder of the world. Nobody else. So everybody said, yeah, the seven wonders of the world. But who tell the European he got the right to decide what is a wonder of the world? Mm-hmm. He did it because he had the power, he had the military right, he had the control of man's mind. For the last 400-500 years, Europe ruled the world, literally. Mm-hmm. So now with Europe losing grasp of the world, and when I say Europe, I mean equally United States, all of these things are going to change because I will be one to put up the fact that this nonsense about seven wonders of the world, there are other things in Africa and Asia should be considered a wonder of the world, which the European couldn't do.
Right. Okay, looking at this third eye keeps bothering me, and I've often seen
That's
the third
the
eye on
eye of Horus.
I've always often seen this eye on the pyramid and on the dollar bill. And you have any background just on
Okay.
what's that about?
If you look on the green side of American dollar bill in the top left-hand corner,
Mm-hmm.
you see a sunburst, symbol of the sunburst, representing God Ra.
Right.
In the center of it, you see the eye
I don't
of
have
Horus.
a dollar on me. I just
Symbolic, the eye of Horus, and that is called the Ujed, Udjed. It's supposed to be the eye, the left eye that Horus lost in fighting his uncle who had killed his father. God, in other words, God set Typhon killed God Osiris, and this is about 4,000 years before Cain killed Abel. You understand what's going on? Why people can't deal with this, and the ministers aren't going to let them know anything about this, because then they'll find out how much lies are in the Bible, and how much the Bible have copied, distorted, and arranged to suit European context. Horus killed his father, and in the process of killing the process of killing his uncle, in revenge for having killed his uncle, kill his father, he lost his eye in the battle. That's where the eye of Horus come from. It has nothing to do with evil. Europeans, everything they touch got to have some evilness in it.
Well, they got it on the dollar, so I.
Well, sure. They got it
And
on
they have it symbolic with the pyramid, and
because and the pyramid and that has nothing in context. Leave it to the European. He distort anything.
Okay.
This is strictly a distortion of the pyramid in Egypt. The pyramid means the house of fire, or where the pharaoh was built. And while we are there, the first pyramid, the step pyramid, was in Saqqara in the 3rd dynasty. And the last pyramid of the 82 pyramids of Egypt was built in the 12th dynasty, and not a single Jew was born yet, not even Abraham. So the whole thing about Jews building pyramids is pure nonsense. The second nonsense is these pyramids are made of large stone, monstrous stone, and this is the one that when Jews come and take picture at the pyramid to try to say that they built it, these are the ones that they go at. The largest one make a monstrous stone, and it's pure nonsense. How could Jews build a pyramid and Abraham, the first Jew, wasn't born yet? Especially the major pyramids at Saqqara and Giza.
Yeah, because they say that technology we're just beginning to reach that point that Egyptians were as far as the pyramids, because they're saying that a lot of the pyramids, my understanding is a lot of pyramids still stand.
Yes.
And no one can tell how they were put there.
Nonsense. They left thing that show you. They left temples and they left ramp, and you see how they were placed together. They were the ancient Africans of the Nile built ramps, dirt ramps, so that you could push the stones and carry them, to pull them up the ramps. And when the higher they go, the longer the ramp came to keep the same angle, so they could bring it up. It's just all these mythological writers writing all kind of nonsense. That people telling you that either didn't go to Egypt at all, or they're just plain liars.
Okay.
Because if you go to Egypt, you know how things were done, because the ancient left things like that. They left information for you to see how things were done.
So does one need an understanding of the Egyptian language, or certain things you need to know how to read? I've heard talk with people who've
It
been
will help you, but you don't need. You don't have to have it.
I've talked with people who've gone to Egypt, gone through the pyramids, and they've come out having gone through the pyramids. It not registered. It's like, yeah, that's just a building, and that's where they buried the pharaohs, and in my own mind, there's more to it than that. But they didn't. Whatever's there for them to understand.
You could come back with no understanding at all, and you could come back with a hocus pocus fairy tale understanding. It depends on how you approach the pyramids. And the pyramids is only one type of building in the whole of Egypt. Okay. And by the way, the pyramids in Sudan too. People think that this all is Egypt. This is the whole Nile Valley. The Nile Valley civilization, and I don't speak of Egypt as a separate entity. Egypt represents the fulcrum, represents the zenith of a culture that started 4,000 miles south of Egypt. Not Egypt. The civilization in Egypt didn't go up north. Up south. It came down north, because the Nile River, the only major river, run from south to north, not north to south.
Okay, so it's a whole nother
nother thing.
I have a question in reference to tradition or culture. The past few years, I've seen a lot of African American males wearing earrings. I grew up. Men didn't wear earrings just based on the tradition in our home that women wore the earrings and men didn't. Now it's a whole thing, and everybody's trying to give
in Africa,
justification.
Some men wore,
and I never understood what.
Some men wore an earring, and it was assumed that will help your sight in some African groups. But in large, men didn't wear two earrings and for beauty. No, it was strictly women who wore earrings. In that sense, yes. But only some men in some places would wear an earring, a tiny little one, nothing decorated, a little ring in the ear, okay? And I would prefer, it wasn't an earring like the sense of the woman using it for decoration. These brothers that use them for decoration is punking out. Okay. It has nothing to do with African beauty. Men never wore earring for beauty.
Okay. Speaking while we're talking about jewelry, we're just looking at, this is catching my eye because I've always liked the symbols. And
this represents an organization in the continent, and Egypt, Nubia, to be exact. This here, let's go from top to bottom, is the Ankh, or key of life. It certainly is not a cross. Okay. This in the center is a chenu or chirac, which people call cartouche. But cartouche is a French word. It has no right in the language. This here over the cartouche, what is called a cartouche, is the ever-seen eye we just spoke of Horus, the Ujet, Udjet. These figures within the cartouche or the chenu are numbers. For instance, this is 100 and 100, 100. There are three of these, mean 300, right? This symbol is 10. There's 6 of them. And then you see a tiny little circle so that it's 360 degrees. Here is the sun, 360 degrees under the sun over the moon. This is not a crescent like the Muslim religion, has nothing to do with it. This is the first moon of the ancient Nile Valley calendar. This is not a Magen David. There was no David alive when the Egyptian used this. Is 2 pyramids upside down, bisecting each other, and it's known as the dog star of Egypt. Magen David was started by Herzl, the man who started, the father of Zionism, and he wasn't around when the Africans were using this sign. And the last one here is the scarab, or the dung beetle, symbolic of resurrection. It goes into the dung, and every 28 days it emerges, it resurrects from the dung. And of course, this have the same angle as the pyramid of Khufu at Giza.
What is the symbolism of the pyramid? I mean, we talk about the pyramid, people use them all the time, but there's never been...
They're the house of the last resting place of pharaohs from the 3rd dynasty to the 12th dynasty.
Okay.
That's the way most of them used to
tomb.
be buried.
Okay.
They're tombs.
Okay.
And all kind of people since that place all kind of gobbledygook about the pyramids, making up their own story based upon pure nonsense, most of it.
What about the Sphinx that we see, the half-man
Well, it's not a Sphinx, actually. There's no Sphinx in Egypt or any other parts of the world but Greece.
Okay.
The Greeks had a statue of a woman, and when they came to Egypt, thought that this looked like the statue that they left, and they call it the Sphinx, particularly the one at Giza. Frankly, the ancient Africans call it the statue of god Ra-Horakhti, or god Hamakis, being the statue of the pharaoh Khafra, the son of the man who built the biggest pyramid at Giza. So the statue actually is the head of Pharaoh Khafra and the body of a lion.